everyone? I'm Tatum. Welcome to another episode of Off the Wall. If you're new to my channel, this is my segment where I go through my record collection and I share it with you guys. Now, today, I'm going to talk about one of my favorites. I know I say that all the time, but it's in my collection, so all of them are my favorites. This album is one of the ones that, I don't know, it pretty much kind of shaped me growing up in my teens and early 20s. This is one of the albums I went back to. I just love this album. So today, I'm going to be discussing the Beatles, Abbey Road. All right. This album, let me just start by saying, isn't this one of the most, if not the most iconic covers of all time? Like, how many times have you seen people walking across Abbey Road or just streets, period, recreating this? Like, yeah, this one is just, I'm so happy to have this in my collection. Show you the back. Pardon the stamp on the back. That's where I house it up on my wall. Just so you know, when I say off the wall, I'm literally taking these records off the wall. Yeah, let's get into it. I'll tell you my feelings. Let's just get into it. This is a Beatles album that, like, to me as a Beatles fan, it's like the last hurrah. It was recorded after Let It Be, but it was released before Let It Be, which is weird. That's how how bad of an album they think Let It Be is. And I don't have a problem with Let It Be. It's just that, you know, for it to be the technical last Beatles album released, it's kind of like, oh, damn. But Abbey Road is like the last hurrah for the band. It's the last one they were together. They were holding on by a fucking thread, but somehow, some way, they came together and made this fucking masterpiece. Even with let's get into it. The album starts with "Come Together," right? And that's probably one of John Lennon's best. Like, for me, that's one of John Lennon's best songs to me. In the Beatles, outside the Beatles, whatever you want to call it. Here come on, like, just the way it starts is just like, oh, it reminds you why they are who they are. So I always think that's like one of the greatest opening tracks on the album, any album. Just Come Together, letting you know, come together right now over me. Like, you probably heard that song your whole lifetime. I know I have, especially on commercials and everything else. But I think that was a great way to start the album. Also, this is an album that Paul McCartney pretty much executive produced. Like, he patched everything together. The whole second half, where we get the mashup starting from I would say probably like Here Comes the Sun. No, I'll say from Because. Yeah, from Because to All the Way to Carry That Weight. I never heard that before. Just like, it's like a what do you call it? Not a mashup, but what do you call it when it's like a jam session, right? Every song is not completed, but he made them. He put them together, and the way they sequence right after each other is just fucking magical to me. From Because you never give me your money, you only give me your funny papers, where they talking about contracts, and just, it's so many subliminal turmoil disses within the Beatles. Like, I never give you my pillow. I just tell you, like I'll never invite you over no more. We don't even hang. Like, we don't even kick it. We just give each other excuses of why we can't hang or why things are the way they are. Like, I just thought that was so fucking, I don't know. I just think that's crazy. And to have that, and then to go to Carry Your Weight, and they bring it back, like, dun, 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 dun. Like, that shit is just great. And for them to be like, boy, you're going to carry that weight. You're going to carry that weight a long, 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 long time. Then it was a story, and you guys can help me out. It's kind of cloudy, but it was a story that, like, somebody came to John Lennon's house, and they were like, you wrote this song about me, or some shit like that. And he was like, bro, Paul wrote that song. Like, I didn't even write that song. Like, you gotta, like, the Beatles probably have the most, like, a folklore of all time, from Paul is Dead to just everything evolving around those guys. This is how big they are to culture and just music and life in general, how their music impact lives. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many stories. And, like, even John Lennon later, like, when he disses Paul and, like, those freaks had it right when they said you were dead. Like, whoa, like that shit is like that's it's so many. Yeah, it's so many layers to their shit. It's ridiculous. Paul McCartney and John are pretty much like. I really just wish one of my like wishes before John Lennon passed was that they just got back together and just did something. Like, can you like we didn't get to see them perform these songs. Like we didn't get to see the Beatles play Come Together. I mean, you see John performing it Dolo, but we don't get them see Sun King or me, Mr. Mustard, and like we don't see them. If we would have just got one more of them, just like one last hoorah of just performance that's just out there, I think. Yeah, but I guess that adds to the, like I said before in the White Album review, if you haven't watched it off the wall, is that it just adds to the allure of the group itself. Golden Slumbers, like Paul's voice on that song. This is really a Paul McCartney. Like Paul's voice on that song is just, and I read somewhere that he kept performing it and performing it live and hard because he wanted to mess up his vocal so he could sound like it was live. Like, you know how dedicated and crazy that is? I want to fuck up my vocals because, and they didn't perform live in years. Like, oh man, that shit's just dope. It's probably one of those things that drove Paul McCartney crazy because he's one of those artists that likes to perform. Like, he likes being in front of people. He likes that energy. He loves that shit. One of the standouts on this album that nobody ever expected, and a lot of the group members say is the best song on the album, is George Harrison's Something in the Way That She Moves. Like, that song is just so fucking, that's one of those perfect love songs that you just don't get a lot, you know what I mean? Like, that's like an ode to his woman, an ode to all their women. That song is just beautiful. And to Come Together is like, because Come Together's got like this rock feel and running, like I said, it has this up-tempo, but then it washes all the way, and the next song gets something, and it's so, like, it's so chill. Like, it's so chill and great. It's just, it's one of those joints. And even to go into Oh Darling, well, it goes into Maxwell Silverhammer, but we're going to skip that. But to go into Oh Darling, and it's like one of those odes to like those old blues records, and Paul McCartney just going the fuck off with the vocals. And I heard John Lennon wanted to sing that. He felt like that song sounded like something he would sing, and he wanted to sing that record, but Paul was like, nah, this mine, bruh. I got to sing lead on. I wrote it. This is my shit. Like, this is how crazy, I don't know. It goes to that thing that I think, like I always say, I think John and Paul are like polar opposites, but they envy what the other one could do. But Paul's so great. He's just so great as an artist, and he's like a chameleon. Like, he could see what you're doing and do it to a T so much that John Lennon's like, that should be me. Like, you're singing like me. Like, I need that. Like, that's a song that I would sing. And it reminds me of the old Beatles records of just when they were together, and it was just rock and blues, and it was just something that we got a lot on Let It Be. Like, the great songs on Let It Be, because they wanted to go back to that. Let's just rock out and be a band and blah, blah, blah. But it was so much turmoil at that point, they couldn't bear to be around each other, like, at all. Like, they recorded these, I would say, pretty much demos, and was like, all right, I'm done. I'm not coming back to the studio. So if you want to do what you want to do, just do it. You get Pauline Pam. She came through the bathroom window because somebody broke into Paul McCartney's house, like a obsessed fan and shit, and it was in his bath. Like, you know how crazy their music is, so fucking honest. Like, they would take shit that literally just happened, like the benefit of Mr. Kite on Sgt. Pepper, when, for those that know, like, when John was like, we need a song, guys. Like, we going to steal, John. We need a song. And he like, hand me that fucking flyer for that circus over there. And he literally starts just writing lyrics and reading it what the fucking poster says. You know how great that is as a songwriter, and just, that's when you know you just got it. Like, when you just could, like, pick a piece of paper up off the floor of a flyer to a circus and like, yep, this is the song. And then I'm pretty sure that's a lot of people's favorite song of all time. You know how yeah. To bring back To Carry That Weight, and then you go into the end, what is just, all right, one last time, let's rock out as a band. Let's do this as brothers. This is one last time. You get Ringo, you get George, you get John, you get Paul just one last time, and they trading licks off, and they letting everybody eat on the record. It's one of those sad things. Let's just get into best songs. Favorite songs, I'm gonna go with Come Together, Golden Slumbers, and I like Pauline Pam. If you seen Pauline Pam. Yeah. Worst song, I'm gonna go with Maxwell's Hammer. That's just one of the joints. Sorry, Ringo, you always catch the bad rap, but it's just your voice for me. And favorite line, I'm gonna go with the end where at the end of the rock out, when it's all said and done and the music comes down and we're at the end of the album and Paul McCartney says, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. That's just like, I don't know what if that was a shot at the rest of the band members. Was it telling the fans like, this is it? Like, it's just, I think they could have left out. What's the last song? Yeah, Her Majesty is just like a little rock out song. Well, it's not even a rock out song. It's just like a 30-second record with just Paul McCartney saying something. But this album is just great. I think it's one of the Beatles' best albums. Sorry. For me, anyway, it's like one of my favorite ones next to the White Album. After the White Album, I would say Abbey Road. And then I would say Revolver. But, damn, I forgot about Sgt. Pepper. Maybe I'm going to still put Revolver over Sgt. Pepper, but it's very, 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 very close. It's just one of the last. It shows you how great they are. It shows you what you're going to miss. It's just it's no better way to go out. It's really no better way to go out. If you were gonna, as a band, like, it's just, or as an artist, period, like, and I think Paul McCartney realized that. Like, I know everybody in the band don't give a fuck right now, but we still the Beatles, and we gotta close this out to our fans in the right way. And I think that's what him taking the reins of like executive producer on the album. I think that was his goal. I think he succeeded. I think they succeeded. It's just one of the great ones. I'm glad to have it in my collection. You'll probably never hear anybody say anything bad about Abbey Road. Like I said again, the cover is probably the most iconic album cover of all time. It's so many people and pictures of people just walking across the street. Abbey Road, the actual road, probably stays full all the time with people just recreating that picture, which that in itself is just legendary to me. Yeah, I think the Beetle was sold in auction, or at least the license, something with that Beetle and license plate was sold in auction for a lot of money, like, just because it was on the Abbey Road album cover. And like, I remember, who the fuck, like, when my son was a baby, he was like, he ain't got no shoes. Where's shoes? Like, because it's on my wall. Like, Paul McCartney don't had no shoes on in the cover because it was fucking hot outside. I just think it's just so cool, man. But let me know what you guys think. Is this your favorite Beatles album? Am I tripping? Do you think this is one of the most iconic covers of all time? What's some of your favorite songs on here? Yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave comments. Let's talk about it as we always do. In the meantime, I'm going to go put this record back on my wall because I have an empty space there right now. And yeah, that's it.